Okay, please pause the video here and do the homework check. Chapter 0, Lesson 6, the percent proportion. When we do this today, we are going to be looking for keywords here in order to help us set up our equations. So whenever I see the words what number, I'm going to put an X. Or if I just see the word what, I'm going to put an X. When I see the keywords what percent, I'm going to do an X with an underline. That way, this will remind me to turn my answer into a percent when finished. And remember to turn a decimal into a percent. We move the decimal 2 places to the right. So like 0.25 would be 25%. 1.01 would be 101%. Or 32.52 would be 3,252%. Whenever I see the word find, I'm going to write it as X equals. Whenever I see the word is, that's just plain equals. And whenever I see the word of, that's multiply. Now, when I'm given the original problems, if they give me a percent, I'm going to change it into a decimal by move the decimal 2 places left. Okay, so for example 1 here, it says what number, and so I'm going to use X, is equals 35%. And again, we cannot put percents into our calculator, so we're going to change it into 0.35 because that's 2 places to the left. Of means times 250. And so on this one, X is by itself, so I don't have to do any math to it. I just take 0.35 times 250. 0.35 times 250 is 87.5. X equals 87.5. The next one says find. So X equals 15% would be 0.15 of is times 200. 0.15 times 200 is 30. The next one, 80 is. 80 equals what percent? So I'm going to underline it so that I know when I get my answer, I'm going to change it back into a percent. Of means times 400. And so on this one, notice that X is not alone. X is being times by 400 here. And so we need to solve for X in this one. So because X is being times by 400, the opposite would be to divide both sides by 400 to cancel those out. And you notice this is how we put it into our calculator. So we're going to put it in as 80 divided by 400. And that gives me 0.2. But I underlined it so that I remembered that I need to change it back into a percent. So if it's 0.2 and I move it 2 places to the right, that would be 20%. 56.5 means equals 25%, 0.25 because we can't put percents into our calculator, of means times what number is X. So this time X is being times by 0.25. So the opposite would be to divide both sides by 0.25. So 56.5 divided by 0.25 is 226. What percent, X underline, of times 44 is equals 67? So this time X is being times by 44. So the opposite is divide by 44. So we type it in as 67 divided by 44. And I'm just going to do 2 decimals. So 1.52. Move it 2 places to the right because it's a percent. And so it's 152%. What, so X is equals 312% would be written as 3.12 because I only move it 2 places. Of means times 98. And so this one, X is already by itself. So I type in 3.12 times 98. 305.76. Rudy went to see a professional baseball game. While keeping stats on the game, he counted 44 at-bats for the home team. Of these, 11 batters made a hit. What percent of batters got a hit for the home team? So I start with the question, what percent, so X underline, of, so times, batters, there was 44 at-bats, got a hit. So equals 11 of them got a hit. So divide both sides by 44 to get X by itself. 11 divided by 44 is 0.25. But I underlined it to remember to turn it into a percent. So I move it 2 places to the right, and I get 25%. Oh no, what happened to the other slide? Just a minute, gotta refresh. There we go. Chet bought a TV for 20% off. The original price was $475. Part A, what was the amount of his discount? So what, X, was is past form of is, so equals. And then the amount was 0.20 because I can't put in 20%. I have to put it as a decimal of times 475. 0.20 times 475 is $95 off. What was the price he paid for the TV? So the original price was $475. We got $95 off. So I'm going to subtract them. And he paid $380. What is another way we could have solved this with one step? So go ahead and pause and think about that. Another way we could have solved this was if I have a 20% off coupon, that means that I have to pay 80%. So when I set it up, I could have just said I paid 80% of the original price. And when you take 0.80 times 475, you get the same answer of $380. 600 students were surveyed on their favorite outdoor activity. The following table shows the percentages of students' outdoors activity. Find the number of students jogging. So originally they gave me as a percent, 12% of the students. So that means times 600. 0.12 times 600, 72. Find the number of students biking. So 25% times 600, 150. Find the percentage of students that were walking. So it says that there's 60 students that preferred walking. And we don't know what percentage, so what percent would be X underline of students, so times 600, were walking, which was 60. So take 60 divided by 600, and I get 0.1, which is 10%. What percentage of students was skating? So I take 210 divided by 600, and that gives me 0.35, which is 35%. And the last one, what percent of students was other? So I take 108 divided by 600, and I get 0.18, which is 18%.